What's up and welcome to My Point of View. I am your fat and opinionated host, and the Bud Light fallout continues. In fact, I think this is a special occasion. We're all gathered here today to watch the stock of Bud Light plummet to the ground like a free-falling elevator. Therefore, I put on my special Tower of Terror hat just for this occasion. And boy, oh boy, is it a joyous moment. Watching this company panic. Watching this company self-destruct. But you know what? Things did not have to be this way. Oh no, they did not. But you see, the folks over at Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light, they thought it was a good idea to hire some woke lady, this Harvard graduate. They decided it was a good idea to hire her to be the vice president of marketing for their company. And for some odd, weird, unexplainable reason, she thought it was a good idea to hire a dude in a dress that preys on children to promote Bud Light. Now, any sane person knows that that is a bad idea, but the problem is, folks, we're surrounded by a bunch of crazy people. And all of these big wigs, these head executives, most people in power in any company, in any facet of our government, a lot of them are weird. And they have a thing for little kids, if you know what I mean. So seeing this happen, it does not surprise me, because I've seen these same types come in and destroy other businesses. It's been happening for years. The only problem is all of that was ignored, but now they're coming for beer, and now people, this is the hill people are willing to die on. People are taking a stand finally after watching, just countless other companies crumble to the ground as they turned a blind eye. They figured, you know what, Bud Light, that's where we draw the line. So, hey, if that's where these people draw the line, then more power to them. I've been warning them that stuff like this was going on for years. But you see, this vice president over at Bud Light, she's part of what I call the rules for thee and not for me crowd. You may be familiar with this crowd. You know, the crowd that during the beer bug and the lockdowns, they would tell you, you got to stay at home. You can't live your life. You can't do anything. While they were out going to big parties and gatherings. You know, the same crowd that tells you, you must live in a pod and eat bugs because of climate change. Meanwhile, they jet set around the world in private jets. Yeah, the rules for thee and not for me crowd. You see, this vice president over at Bud Light said that the reason she hired Dylan Mulvaney and decided to give him countless amounts of dollars to promote Bud Light, the reason she did it is because she was trying to reach a new audience. She says that she was tired of Bud Light being the fratty beer that fraternities would drink at college parties. She did not want Bud Light to be viewed that way anymore. Instead, she wanted to promote Bud Light to 13-year-olds who are confused about their gender. I guess that's the target audience for Bud Light now. But the only problem is the internet is going to be the internet. And the internet being the internet is going to do what the internet does. And boy, oh boy, the internet is doing what the internet does right now, because they have dug up old pictures of the vice president of Budweiser, Bud Light. And it turns out that she was part of this fratty culture that she claims to be against. So like I said, the rules for me are the rules for thee and not for me crowd. You know, the ones that climb up the ladder and then they pull up the ladder behind them. Let's go ahead and dive into this article as we look at the leaked photos. Leaked pics show Bud Light exec who wants to update company's fratty culture enjoying fratty party. A Bud Light executive who claimed the beer company needs to update its fratty and out-of-touch image appeared to enjoy the Greek life at Harvard while partying at an alleged haven of inebriated ditzies. Budweiser's vice president of marketing, Alyssa Heinerscheid, could be seen in images on her now deleted Facebook page enjoying a campus scavenger hunt, blowing up condoms like balloons, and downing beers during a 2006 booze fest. Heinerscheid and her college pals can be seen in an album titled ISIS Senior Reverse Initiation Scavenger Hunt, where the co-eds held a talk about the exploration of the scrotum professors. The photos appear to have been taken during an event hosted by Harvard's ISIS Club, a group founded to create a safe social place for women to socialize on campus. I want to pause right there. Will you look at that? You see, when this woman was in college, she was part of a group that was supposed to be a safe social place for women. Imagine talking about a safe social place for women in today's day and age. In today's day and age, you are told you are a bad person, you are a bigot, if you don't allow men in dresses like Dylan Mulvaney to infiltrate women-only spaces. So the same women who enjoyed the safety and the openness of safe spaces for women now wants to take away those same safe spaces from your kids and from you. Make no mistake about it. She was part of this, this sorority. She was probably the feminist type in college. It was important to have these safe spaces for only women, but now anyone can be a woman, right? So these same people who enjoyed the sorority life, the frat life, some of these same women who went to college and got to experience women-only safe spaces now want to take that away from the next generation. But that's how these people's minds work. Rules for thee and not for me. We're going to pull up the ladder behind us. But let's dive back into the article. The club that this woman was in was slammed by the Harvard Crimson student newspaper in 2005 as a haven of inebriated ditzies who took part in booze fest. Many on social media called out Heinerscheid as a hypocrite for appearing to take part in the same fratty culture she claimed the beer company needed to do away with. This is too funny. Do as I say, not as I do, one Twitter user wrote. Looks awfully fratty to me, another user remarked of the college pictures. In response to a photo where Heinerscheid drinks Rolling Rock, one person quipped, even she doesn't drink Bud Light. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light's parent company, did not respond to requests for comments. Of course they did not. You see, now what we're having is almost like an internal civil war at Bud Light. They don't know what to do. Because on one hand, they can't take this back. They can't apologize because then they will anger the mob. The angry mob. But if they don't do anything, if they don't try to make a correction here, then the other side is going to be upset. So we have certain executives in Bud Light saying, hey, we were blindsided. We didn't know this was going to happen. And then other people are standing behind the decision. But they claim they're going to, have a certain vetting process moving forward. But just look at the woman that they have hired as the vice president of marketing. When you have a grown woman that feels the need to draw rainbows with crayons and post it behind her, then that tells you right there that that's not someone you really want in a high position in your company. Because obviously they're pushing an agenda. I mean, you're drawing rainbows in crayon, and you got to have it behind you when you do your little meetings, just to show that you're part of the agenda. Just to show that you're pushing the agenda. Do you think a little kid drew that rainbow and gave her those drawings on the back of her wall? No. No, not at all. So every time you hire someone like this for these positions, they are going to tank your company. They are going to be problematic. But these companies, they put themselves in a hard space because if they fire these people, then they're considered phobic or or bad people and what have you. So in many ways, we're watching what I would call terrorist. I don't know what other way to describe it as. We're watching these people infiltrate companies and take them over because they're using wokeness against these companies. Because once you go a little bit woke, you can't turn back because then you're going to get ridiculed for doing so. So these companies honestly don't know what to do with themselves. So I don't think they're going to release an apology. I don't know if they'll be working with someone like Dylan Mulvaney anytime soon, but it honestly wouldn't surprise me. If it's one thing I've learned about this new age agenda, it's that the agenda means more than profit. But I think everyone should keep applying pressure. It's not that hard not to drink Bud Light. I never drink Bud Light, so no skin off my back. But let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.